Hello everybody, my videos, MJG Games. Today we're doing a viewers poll results video. Okay, this is an idea which I have done previously on the channel 5 years ago, right bang in the middle of lockdown, and I want to do it again. So I wanted to give the MJG community 2 weeks to vote for their favourite Amiga games. And there's multiple ways they could do it: Discord, Facebook fan page, Twitter or X, Messenger, email, or of course YouTube. And after 2 weeks, a grand total of 62 people voted. There was a grand total of 373 games and 1,070 votes. So thank you all those that have voted. These amazing people here. Thank you all those that have voted. Okay, so basically the cut-off point was the end of May, and the 62nd person that voted was indeed myself, and I did actually vote with 15 games, which wasn't too shabby actually. But yes, it didn't matter how many times people voted, as long as it wasn't giving the same game more than once. But yes, one person did vote for 1, and one person did vote for about 15, which of course I'm absolutely fine with. The more the better. So yes, all the games have been counted up and all the results have been taken on board. And what I'm going to do for this video, like I did 5 years ago, we're going to include 15, 14, 13, 12 and 11 with no webcam or microphone, just let the game do the talking, and then we'll go for the big top 10. So once again, thank you all those that have voted. A few people did ask me in the early stages if the games have to be in this order. The answer is no, but yes, I didn't want to be that mean, even though it is quite difficult to try and think of the top 10 or 15. But yes, basically the games, whatever you pick, could be any order you like. If you like it, it will make the list. But hopefully, if this video does well, hopefully do more different subjects in the future, more different systems, we'll see. But anyway, we'll start off with 950 on the list. Let's go. go, it took me 2 days to call all that. But anyway, thank you all those that have voted. So we move over to the top 10 now. Number 10 on the list, let's go.
Number 10.
There we go. That makes the list. Coming at number 10 with a grand total of 14 votes, Pang. Okay, so the game is Pang, originally released in Japan as Popping World and known in North America as Buster Brothers. It's a 1989 action game produced by Mitchell Corporation and Capcom for arcades in 1989. Mitchell handled the game's domestic and most worldwide distribution, while Capcom handled the bulk of development and distributed the game in North American territories. The basic gameplay is identical to the 1983 Japanese MSX computer game Cannonball, also released in 1983 for the ZX Spectrum as Bubble Buster. Cannonball was made by Japanese publishers Hudson Soft and was licensed to Mitchell Corporation 6 years later to make Pang. And it's great it's made the list. Have to admit though, this is one of the ones I voted for. This is fantastic. This one we played, I think, 1990 or 1991, one of the two. But I have finished it many times during a live stream. It's a classic, isn't it? Okay, the rules. You all know the rules of this game. You've got to try and travel the world by going to 50 stages, taking place in 17 countries, and rescue the world from the evil bubbles, or balloons. But not running out of time limits. It took me years to realise this game was actually based on an arcade. It was the ages to actually play the arcade, but the arcade version don't have as many lives at the start. But you can earn additional lives from score, and by destroying a certain quantity of breakable blocks. But not all weapons allow you to break breakable blocks. Not a huge fan of the gun in this game. The double harpoon is the ultimate, that shield and the timer, which freezes all balloons to the spots. Any time remaining is 30 points. Okay, we arrive in Australia. I wonder what time it is there. Oh, I've got 10 lives. I have to admit though, when I played this game for the first time, it took me quite some time until I got to play it on the arcade. It was actually in the mid-90s. And I have to admit though, I still think this version is better. Graphically, not much different, but the sound was a vast improvement on the Amiga. Right, 10 lives going very well, but yes, this is a good game for getting a high score. And they also can get a stick of dynamite which turns all bubbles remaining on the screen to the smallest one. Which is risky, but it earns you the greatest score. Okay, we arrive at the Taj Mahal. Now, I haven't been to many countries in my life, but this game, sort of, allows me to experience some of them, of course, for a short period of time. In this way, even shorter, but yeah, it's risky. But yes, I'm using the power wire. The power wire is good for confined space. Basically, if it hits the top of the ceiling, it will stay there until something hits it. If it doesn't hit it, after a few seconds, it'll be taken away. The Vulcan missile, not a huge fan of that, but it's good in some situations. But of course, some blocks have to be broken. The Vulcan missile can't do that. But yeah, the double harpoon is my favourite. And also, I haven't played many versions, but this is my favourite. It always will be. But I'm not saying it's a bad version, but my least favourite version is the CE4 version. It's a good version though, but it has got its problems. You can't fire as much, and the balloons don't bounce in the same way. There we go. Right, why not? End it here. The first level at Lemongrad. The first one that takes place with slow involved. It also is a very good game to play in two-player mode, but a lot more difficult in two-player mode, because basically, you both have to survive. Oh my gosh. If a player touches the balloon of any side, the player dies, and both players must start the stage again. With both players touch the balloon at the same time, only player one will lose a life. This is somewhat offset, because when both players reach a bonus or weapon simultaneously, only player one will get it. One off footage, that is Pang.
Number 9.
There we go, coming at number 9 with 15 votes, fantastic game, Super Frog, copyright 993, Team 17 Software. Okay, so the game Super Frog, a scrolling 2D platform game, which developed for the Amiga, published in 1993 by Team 17. Later releases were handled by Ocean Software and GOG.com. The objective of the game is to find and defeat the witch. That was rescuing the princess while achieving small objectives like finding the golden key or escaping the captivity of a circus. There are 24 regular levels, divided into 6 different themed worlds, and the goal of each level is to collect a certain number of coins to reach the exit, which will only be opened if Super Frog collected enough coins. Extra factors in the game also include a countdown timer and a health bar, both can be extended by picking up bottles of loot seeds. It was also very difficult to read at the same time of doing it. It's a fantastic game, it really is good. Quite long though, but it took me a few years to finish it. But for this video, it features at number 9. And I think most people probably had played a demo first. You had the one from the One magazine, the CU Amiga magazine, and Amiga Action. And what I liked about those demos is all demos were different. But you start the game off with a basic skills. We'll try and find a certain quantity of coins, in this case it's 39. Then find the exit. You can't fly and you can't shoot, not at the start anyway. You've got to try and find a set of wings or also a spud. And when you're firing, you can't kill everything with it, but you can also do have an instant kill situation if you land on a spike, if you've got full energy or not. When you're firing a spike, you actually fire it forwards, up, or diagonal forwards by holding the fire button down. But plenty of time, you keep picking up bottles that you're saying it loads of time. Any moment in time is your 30 points. You can gamble if you wish to. That's fantastic, there we go. A HD version of the game, titled Superfrog HD, was co-developed by both Team 17 and TikTok Games, formerly Bubble Systems, the company initially responsible for the MS-DOS port of Superfrog in 1994. It was later released in 2013, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita, then later for Microsoft Windows via Steam, OS X and Linux, Android and iOS. In May 2016, Superfrog HD was discontinued by Team 17 due to low sales and negative reception. The game was removed from PlayStation Network, Steam, App Store and Google Play. At the same time, the original Superfrog game was removed from GOG.com. Right, we'll do one quick level of the next area, which takes place in the Witch's Castle. And yes, there are fast ways of doing it or slow ways of doing it. It all depends on if you know where all the secrets are. But some secrets are not always good. Some actually take you to areas you've already been before. There's quite a lot of traps in this game, not quite as dangerous as standards, but it certainly gives a run for its money. And also its speed. It certainly gives Sonic the Hedgehog a run for its money. And also, you don't actually lose any additional skills as you die, of course. So you've got the ability to fly, or the ability to shoot, so you can take it on to the next stage. But there we go, short and sweet, it's fantastic. Head to the exit door, get additional extras on the way, all helps. Warner footage, that is Superfrog.
Number 8.
There we go, move over to another classic, it's fantastic. Coming at number 8, Silkworm, 16 votes, great game, copyright 1988, Tecmo Limited. Okay, so the game Silkworm, a horizontally scrolling arcade shooter video game developed by Tecmo, first released in arcades in 1988, and in 1989 it was ported to the Amiga, Atari ST, Commodore 64, Sonic Spectrum, and the Amstrad CPC systems by Shuttleworth, and released by Virgin Mastertronic in 1990. Silkworm was released at the same time where side-scrolling shooters was among the most popular genres. It was released at the same time as Forgotten Worlds, Sanction, Mr. Ellie, and DNA Warrior. And it's another fantastic game, of course, based on the arcade, but like Pang, I still do believe this one is better than the arcade. I truly think that. But this one, I did play a lot later on arcade, 2019 to be precise. And of course, in that version, you have two buttons, one for your down bullets and one for your forward bullets. On this one button does both, and it performed so well. It wasn't the first side-scrolling shooter I played, that was indeed R-Type. This was, I think, the second we got it in 1990. And me and my brother were absolutely addicted to this game, but of course, like Swim, which is not a direct sequel, it's very similar, both games you do play as either the Jeep or the helicopter, which is more difficult for the Jeep, of course. But the Jeep also has the ability to jump, but the helicopter cannot go below this point. It is so good. It doesn't have much music, but the music by Barry Leach is absolutely superb. But for a game like this, it's no big deal if it has music in-game. Sound effects is essential. If I want to pick between one or the other, if it's a shoot 'em up, it's got to have sound effects. And the exposure to sound effects does it so well, it's so good. And of course, you do have boss battles, not all versions can have all bosses. The C4 version don't have the tank, or does it? Might do, can't remember, but the helicopters are much shorter in size. The ZX Spectrum version doesn't have the tank, and that was the first ZX Spectrum game I finished. There you go, fantastic. Right, 4, why not? Give a Jeep a try. It's good weapons, very good vehicle. Once fully maxed out, you can serious damage. The problem is trying to keep it intact, keep the weapons going. Dying in the early stages, it's very difficult to get those weapons back to the original state. Or the best state, should we say. But of course, you have a lot more control of your weapons, and also, out of the two vehicles, the only one can fire backwards. If you start the game off with 3 lives, you can earn 1 more from score. And Swift did have a lot more weapons, a lot more lives, and more continues. but when it comes to continues, there are a few games on the Amiga, like Rainbow Islands and the Ultimate Review. When you get to a certain level, you don't continue from that point. But the game is very short anyway. Now that number at the bottom middle corner of the screen below your wave 4, when that reaches 0, it summons the gooseneck helicopter. So it is a different game every single time, but it appears at different points on the level, depending on your performance, of course. If you shoot its weakness first, you can earn 2 icons. You want to try and get your rank to the maximum in the early stages. When you get it that way, you don't lose your weapon. Swib did that as well. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I haven't finished it with the Jeep. This is probably the first really challenging stage with the Jeep. Once fully maxed out, you should do some progression, really. Also, you can earn shields. Shoot the landmines when shot, release a cloud of plasma gas when you release. Select it for a temporary shield, or collect 2 for a smart bomb, kill all enemies and enemy bullets on the screen, apart from the boss. And of course, if it's in the air, you can't reach it, but you can shoot it. That also creates a smart bomb. Right, so now it's tank versus Jeep. But yes, the civil version does have the tank. The Spectrum version does not. I haven't played all versions though. Like Pang, this is the best version for me. And that's more than footage, that is Silkworm.
Number 7.
There we go, right with number 7 on the list. And some people did say Sensible Soccer, some people voted for Sensible World of Soccer, but to avoid confusion, for why not, it's better than both together. Grand total, 17 votes. Great game, coming at number 7. Okay, so the game is Sensible Soccer, often called Sensi. It's a social football video game series that was popular in the early 1990s and still remains a following. It was developed by Sensible Software and first released for Amiga and Atari ST computers in 1992, as well as IBM PCs. The series was developed by John Hare and Chris Yates. As a successor to the previous football game, Microprose Soccer, released in 1988, which in turn was inspired by the arcade video game Tarkin World Cup, released in 1985. I didn't know a lot about that. Who scored it? It was right in the second minute. But yeah, I truly believe you don't actually have to be a football fan to enjoy this game. I'm not a huge football fan, but I used to be in the school days. But I didn't play Sensible Soccer until 1994 when I bought it on the CD32, paid £4.99 for it. But I thought it would be easier just to combine Sensible World of Soccer's results and Sensible Soccer's results in one poll, giving it a 17 poll result. But it's brilliant, absolutely outstanding. But yes, we are England in our away strip and we're playing Turkey. And Turkey have a free kick. But of course you can add curl to the ball and you also do have instant replays. But the first football game I played in the 90s was Kickoff 2. Which did the score in that one. Not so bad here though. But I have also played it on the Mega Drive. It's easy to score on that one because the ball sticks to your feet like glue. Right, quickly move over to Sensible World of Soccer also. Copyright 1995, Sensible Software. Published by Renegade, a Warner Interactive company. Okay, so the game is Sensible World of Soccer. It's a 1994 football video game designed and developed by Sensible Software. As a sequel to their 1992 Sensible Soccer, it combines a 2D football game with a comprehensive management mode. The game also includes contemporary season data of professional football from around the world, with a total of 1,500 teams and 27,000 players. And it would be easier just to combine both of them, but yes, it's fantastic. I didn't actually play my first Sensible World of Soccer game until 2019, very late, but also very good. But also it's the first time in a long time where it's gone from one game to the other, and to see the differences. Of course, there are some changes, designed out all of the kinks and made a few adjustments of the sound, the music, the graphics, performed very well. But we are the same teams, but now England is at home, and we're right. But again, we do have the ability to swerve, and we have the instant replays. Who was that this time? Paul Gascoigne, 16 minutes. Close. I have to admit, I truly believe, yes, even though I've played a lot more Sensible Soccer, Sensible World of Soccer does certainly play a lot better. Much more responsive. Right, 39 minutes, still 1-0. Right, corner kick. The career mode in Sensible World of Soccer enables players to manage a club through 20 seasons. Basic management options include the transfer market, buy and sell players, and every team has a squad of 16 players by default, and every player has individual skills, speed, tackling, heading, finishing, shooting, passing, and ball control. Player prices are calculated relatively to their skills. Players can be transferred from other clubs by offering an amount of money and or own players in a part exchange deal. But yes, when it comes to leagues, I did loads on Sensible Soccer, but not so much on Sensible World Soccer. But yes, I'm not good at management games either. I haven't really experienced that. But yeah, when it comes to management games, not very good at all. But this game is absolutely superb. But yeah, it's going to end 1-0. It's very difficult trying to read at the same time of doing it. But that's fantastic. It really is good. Sensible World Soccer. Sensible Soccer.
Number 6.
Okay, we arrive at number 6. This one got 19 votes in total. Next one goes to Chaos Engine, come at number 6. Okay, so when I play this game, about 9 times out of 10, it's always me being the Navi and the computer player being the Bragans. But today, we'll be the Bragans. Another well-rounded talent and a cutthroat bandit to boot, that is all. And for the computer control player, we'll go for the Preacher. The smartest of the 6 characters, but then he has God on his side. Beware, the Preacher's perverse nature is not to be trusted. Well, hopefully you're trusted today is on my side. Okay, so the game is Chaos Engine, a top-down run-and-gun video game developed by Big Bad Brothers and published by Video Game Software in March 1993. The game is set in a steampunk Victorian age, in which 1 or 2 players must battle the hostile creations of the Chaos Engine across 4 landscapes, and ultimately defeating it and its deranged inventor. First released with Amiga, with a later AGA version released later for AGA Amigas. Also ported to the MS-DOS, SNES, Atari ST, CD32, Rico S and Mega Drive. And the SNES and Mega Drive versions, the Preacher character was renamed The Scientist and redesigned to remove his clerical collar. US versions of the 2 ports were also retitled Soldiers of Fortune, and the sequel to the game, The Chaos Engine 2, was released in 1996. Which also do have a very different game indeed. But yeah, basically, the characters then turn against each other, and it's basically a game of deathmatch. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. But yes, this was a game which I did play first on the C32. I have finished it, but only on the C32. It's difficult with a control pad. Much better to play with a joystick. But yes, you can also play this in 2-player mode. But if it's not 2-player mode, then yes, the computer will take control of the second character. But one thing I didn't actually know, you can actually press the space bar and you can switch between multiple weapons. So we've got this one, or that one, which is actually first aid. Hold fire button down, and that adds more health to your health bar. Didn't know that. But yeah, normally I'm not this character. 9 times out of 10 is actually the Navi, with this character being his buddy. Anyway, the first one is very short and sweet. You've got to try and shoot the node and open the door. Fantastic. Chaos Engine, there we go. Right, just finished the first and second levels. Every time you finish 2 stages, you both go to the shop and get to spend your well-earned cash. Level total and party total. Okay, we arrive at the shop. Got a grand total of 916. Now the only one that we can turn your character in 1-player mode is the Wisdom. That's basically for computer control players. So go for the All. And that also allows you to upgrade your weapon, only if it's available, of course. 916, 141, maximum reach. Right, switch over to the Preacher. 914 was £2 less than what I had. We do the same thing, go for all. Weapon power, can't afford, all, exit. £59 remaining.
Layers activated.
Okay, just finished the first world, a quick attempt at the second. I'm not a huge fan of speedrunning games, but to try and keep this part of the level for the video down to a reasonable level, we're going to attempt a speedrun. Should be okay. Now I know how to use the health, and also the weapons are going in the right direction. It should be okay. But yeah, new of course, each character has a certain special power. I just didn't realize you could switch something like first aid, just like that. So look, just go for the food or the first aid boxes, which of course are always lying around. But 9 times out of 10 is you'd be in secret locations. But my computer controlled character might die here. It's not used to me going at this sort of speed, but a few people I know are not a huge fan of computer controlled players anyway. But you also can increase the strength and the quantity of your bullets. My character can go to a maximum of 4 bullets. The Preacher, however, no. Just 1 single laser, but it can increase the strength of the laser. Right, where's Sonic the Hedgehog? Look at these wings. Right, switch over to first aid. Hold fire button down to activate. Yeah, going speedrunning style is very rare for me. But when you're a content creator, you gotta do these sort of things. Love the music as well, it's superb. Anyway, got 3 bullets, going very well. Love the music, how it keeps changing tempo. Adds to the drama. The setting is a steampunk Victorian era in England. A time traveller on a reconnaissance mission for the distant future became stranded in England in the late 1800s, and his technology came into the hands of the Royal Society, led by Baron Fortescue, a grand inventor. Fortescue, the retro, engineered many of the futuristic contraptions, creating an entirely different alternative timeline. And there is our door. Fantastic. More live footage, that is the Chaos Engine.
Number 5.
Okay, move over to number 5 on the list, back-to-back Big Bad Brothers games, what classic it is too. Grand total of 20 votes, Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe. The rest of the game is Speedball 2, Brutal Deluxe. It's a sports action video game, developed by Big Bad Brothers and initially released for Amiga and Atari ST in 1990, and a sequel to 1988 Speedball that draws in elements of handball and ice hockey and rewards the violent play as well as goals. The concept of the game was reminiscent to the 1975 film Rollerball. The original game was developed by the Big Bad Brothers with various remakes for many platforms being since published. The game was released on multiple platforms: the Amiga Games, Atari Jaguar, Atari ST, Amiga CD32 and IBM PC, as well as the Commodore 64, Mega Drive, Master System, Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance. It's an absolute classic. There we go, a great time to get some ice cream, but yeah, it's fantastic. I have finished this quite a lot of times, including on live stream. The League in particular is a favourite of mine. Of course, these sort of things can go on for quite some time, but yeah, this is basically the cup. Also have the knockout and of course the leagues, which take place in 2 divisions. But yeah, we are the Brutal Deluxe, and they're going to try and be victorious here. Of course, like the Sensible World of Soccer and Sensible Soccer, you do also get the instant replays. But yeah, want to try and get your characters as well skilled as possible. Increase their strength, increase their speed, and their throwing skills, of course their scoring skills. And of course, we don't really die either. But yes, take too much damage, and yes, that can actually work against you because it actually does reward the opponent points. So basically, injuring players gives you points. Earning stars gives you points. Scoring gives you points, and also you do have multipliers along the way as well. Fantastic. 29 seconds. Each half is 90 seconds long. 36 seconds to go. Right at the goal line is that. We'll pick it up. There are 5 game modes: Knockout, Cup, League, Practice and Multiplayer. Each game lasts 180 seconds divided into halves. Speedball 2 is one of Big Bad Brothers' most successful titles. Zap, C Amiga and computer and video games scored the game highly, and the music written by Simon Rogers and remix included by Richard Joseph won the 1991 Golden Joystick Award for Best Soundtrack. The game was voted the 3rd best game of all time in Amiga Power. Superb. And in 1904, PC Gamer US named Speedball 2 the 24th best computer game ever, and editors wrote, "You just can't beat this game for pure action." The same year, PC Gamer UK named it the 30th best computer game of all time, called it totally convincing and very stylish. You really want to read at the same time. Right, we're now at 102 to 24. Did we get all those? Not enough time. Never mind. A win is a win. A win for Brutal Deluxe, 108 to 24. But yeah, 180 seconds. It's not long enough. The game needs to be longer. We're a punch in the end celebration. A win for Brutal Deluxe.
Number 4.
So there we go, whether you call it Lotus Turbo Challenge 2, or what I do is just call it Lotus 2. It's a great game though, never finished it. Coming at number 4, 20 votes, Lotus 2. Okay, so the game's Lotus Turbo Challenge 2, a racing game developed by Melody Fields and published by Goulden Graphics in 1991. And for this video, it features number 4 with 20 votes. The second Lotus game shifted focus to arcade-oriented gameplay, being first in the series to be released for game console. The fuel limit and difficult levels were dropped, and lap-based levels were replaced with course-based time trials, where the player is required to complete each course within a time limit to qualify for the next one. And not hit any cars in the early stages. It's a great game, it's absolutely superb. I've never finished it though, but by far my favourite and most played of all the driving games on the Amiga. But to this day, I don't know which one was first, because this one and Supercars 2 pretty much got about the same sort of time. I think it was 1991 we got them. But yes, this is by far the first in this perspective, and the best in this perspective, and Supercars 2 was my favourite in that perspective. But both completely different games, but both great fun to play, and this is a great challenge. I love the challenge of it, but it's very difficult. I don't know what it is about me and driving games, I just can't do them. It's like pinball. Sometimes I play well, and sometimes I don't play so well. But I have seen this game being absolutely destroyed by certain gamers, but for me, I do struggle in the early stages. Back in the day, it was Course 3, Pea Soup, the fog level, which got us for so many years. I have got past it now, but I don't get past it every single time, but the furthest I've got is Course 5. So of course hazards, yes, the early stages, being the forest level, is going to be very simple, or simple-ish we say, but of course there's going to be many hazards along the way. Anything from rocks, trees, bushes, signposts, signs, cars and different areas, thin tracks, fog and rain, and snow. And of course tunnels and motorways. But all that combined is a great challenge, but the challenge is trying to get past the 3rd level and then get past 4 and 5 and hopefully see a bit more of it. But yes, it's difficult. I've always struggled with this. Those 2 single player mode uses all the game's screen instead of half, and the opponent's cars appear in a variety of colours, unlike the first game where all the cars were white. The music's absent for the racing altogether, and the players instead hears the car's engine instead. Or if you're me, edit it into the game by using the editing you're using. Jump over the log, jump over the water, hit the water, it can slow you down. But yes, hit a tree at the end, we ended it with 6 seconds, which converted to points. So this track, this one, of course, the biggest hazard here is the fact that yes, there's a lot of cars on track, and also it takes place at night, but you can see a lot of the track. But apart from that, there isn't really any issues you've got to try and worry about. But there are plenty of signposts to try and not hit. But yeah, it's very rare we failed on this one, but there was a few times where the timing ran out literally a foot from the finishing line. And in real life, you probably would take the handbrake off and push it, but you can't do it here. You've got to restart or use the password system. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, an expert will have about 10 seconds remain. Right, going to be incredibly edited down, but let's give it one go at least. This is Pea Soup, aka the fog level. I don't know why I thought it was 2 lanes. No, it's 3, but 3 is very mean. And also so many cars, even in the early stages. What's worse was a car on a bend. And also, I totally forgot, but yes, it did also throw in oil slicks, because they thought maybe it's too easy. But yes, all slicks around bends and cars around bends, in fog, 3 lanes is challenging. But let's see how we do. Right, the warning signs are there. Time is running out already. Another thing I think this game needs is not only a little bit more time for those people that aren't so good at the game, but also an option to see how far you are away from the end. Because it did that in the 3rd game, you had laps, but here there's no time of knowing how far you are away from the end, unless you know the track very well. Oh, this looks promising. Oh, I don't know. Oh, look. 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 second finish. Not professionally done, I'll take it. More than footage, that is Lotus 2.
Number 3.
Pick it up later. There we go, arrive at number 3 on the list. Interesting, because 5 years ago it was at number 1 on the list. Not this time. It's a great game, nevertheless. Coming in at number 3, Token 2, The Final Fight, with 21 votes. Okay, so the game is Token 2, The Final Fight, the second game in the Token series. The game developed by Factor 5 was released in 1991 to become with Amiga. It was also released for CTV, Atari ST, MSPC, and ZX Spectrum, and later for MS-DOS. Also for Sega Mega Drive Genesis, and also for the Game Boy, branded as Universal Soldier. The Amiga version of Token 2, along with Token, Super Token and Mega Token, were released to PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in the year 2020 to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the original game under the name of Token Flashback. Which also do have an unboxing for that on the PlayStation 5. It's amazing, absolutely superb. No surprise really, this game did feature on the list, but this time didn't feature at number 1, it featured number 3 with 21 votes. But for me, this is how it all begun with me. This is the first one I bought back in the day. But yes, it was in the wrong order, but in a way I'm quite pleased it was in that order. I still think this is the best one of the original 3. But after seeing this one, a week later I went to the same shop where I bought this one and bought the first game as well. But that one I've always thought is the most difficult of the original 3. And the third one is the easiest of the original 3, and that one I could play quite late. But it's absolutely outstanding. Of course, more things were added to this one, some really nice additions, of course the music's outstanding, and it plays so well. And secrets, once again, are plenty. Very generous with lives in this game. Factor 5 are very generous with their games. Yeah, the game received many changes, not just the way it looks and sounds, but also the way it plays. And in the first game, limited to 3 uses of the gyroscope. On this one, you have limited supply. Also, in the third game, you just have a bar. Every time you use it, it drains the bar down. Once the bar is depleted, you cannot use it again, you finish the stage, or die, of course. Another weapon was added, also had the Belter, and like the Vulcan missile of Pang, it is actually my least favourite. I tend to use it around the most. And that's also the biggest change with the third game, the substituted the surround for the plastic rope. Which basically allows you to swing. So you can get used to, when you've got it, it's a very good weapon. Right, jumping jack flash. When you use the surround, the weak point is the head. You can jump on the tip of the gun. When you run low on energy, pick up the P icon to replenish it, but it doesn't replenish it in the stage anyway. But the equal time limit does feature. It's fantastic. On we go. I love the fact you get a boss battle, beat the boss, and you carry on. I love that. And as generous as its original trilogy can be, games like this and Chaos Engine, also Gods, I'm always trying to find this in secrets. I don't actually know how many there are. But when Factor 5 is involved with it, you know there's been quite a fair few of them. But in the third game, when you reach certain levels, it tells you at the end of the level how many lives you've missed and how many you picked up. But judging by the first game being the longest of the series and the experience of playing it, of course, does seem to be a lot more lives on offer on that one as in this one and the third. So many locations of lives, but this is probably the one I never ever fail to miss. It's always there. It's like riding a bike. You never forget how to ride a bike, you never forget where the lives are. But I'm still learning to see if there's any more I've missed over the years. I think it's bound to be. Right. It's the end of the boss battle, and also it's actually midnight. I know I'm crazy, but anyway, weapons are good. We're going to use surround once again. It's all about being at the right point. And shooting the right point as well. Fantastic. Absolutely outstanding. 282 second main. I can't remember the additional points for that, I'm not sure. You will earn points for 30 diamonds if you finish the game from here. So what I thought is that is hard to do.
Number 2.
Right, we move over to the final two of the list now. This one is ranked number 2 with 22 votes. This is Cannon Fodder. Great game, fantastic game, never finished it before, that or the second. Okay, so the game is Cannon Fodder, shooting up developed by Citadel Software, published by Virgin Interactive Entertainment for the Amiga in 1993. Virgin ported the game to MS-DOS, Atari ST, Acorn Archimedes, Atari Jaguar, Mega Drive SNES and the 3DO. The game is military themed and based on shooting action with squad-based tactics. The player directs troops through numerous missions battling enemy infantry, vehicles and installments. And the first mission is incredibly short and sweet. It's good though. Came in number 2 with 22 votes. Cannon Fodder has a darkly humorous tone which commentators variously praise and condemned. Its creators intended to convey an anti-war message which some reviewers recognised, but the Daily Star and a number of public figures divided the game. Other reviewers praised the game, which won achieved scores over 90% in Amiga magazines. Amiga Action awarded it an unprecedented score, calling it the best game of the year. And I believe it came out December 1993, but this is also one of the very few games my brother bought. He was really addicted to this game, and so was I, but when we heard that title screen track for the very first time, we'd never heard anything like that. Of course, that was before we heard goal scoring Superstar Hero, which of course was Sensible Software also, but my brother was not a fan of football anyway. But it's really good, but as long as the game is, and much as we played it, we never got far to finishing this game. It's a totally different game once vehicles are involved, that and the bazooka dudes. But later in the game, you of course have to pick up grenades and bazookas, which of course are short supply. There's actually 5 different areas to conquer: the jungle, the Arctic waste, the desert, the moorlands, and the underground base. They jump for joy, one of them is. Right, mission 3, Bugger Me It's Cold, with 4 soldiers who must kill all enemy and destroy enemy buildings. There are 5 more primary mission profiles: destroy enemy factory, rescue all hostages, kidnap enemy leader, protect all civilians, and get civilians home. And there's not many of those I have seen, but unfortunately at the start of each level you don't actually have any explosive. You can't blow up a house with a machine gun unless you're blowing up an explosive which is nearby to the house. And also, of course, they are limited, but also it's very easy to get killed by the door or the roof of the house. Amazingly, these grenades actually survive, so you pick those up, but also you can actually separate the group and maybe go solo. Of course, that way you're spreading the ammunition evenly between the troops. And provided the troops survive, they'll get promoted. Right, 15 grenades should be enough. Of course, keep near the house. The roof can go absolutely anywhere. Use the shadow as a guide. Amazingly though, those have survived. There are also a number of vehicles in the game. You've got the choppers, the tanks, the jeeps, the skidoos, and the big guns. which are fixed turrets that fire either rockets or shells, varying on the defensive strength, depending on the terrain. And yes, it's not a vehicle, so what? But yeah, not many I have experienced. I've seen the choppers, only because I've played various demos over the years. That and the skidoos. Just like jeeps, really accept skidoos are suitable for travelling across snow and ice. Which will be handy here, but not featured in here. But also, the level I'm referring to, which does lose a few lives or two, is because you've got to try and jump over the water. And the skidoos can't go into the water, of course your characters can. But you cannot shoot in deep waters, only shoot in shallow waters. Not just you, but also the same for the enemies. I keep hearing the door. Just avoiding the door. So many people. You're trying to destroy all the buildings and kill all the enemies. And jump for joy. Well, 2 of them are anyway. They're fantastic. Mission complete. Right, Heroes in Victory. Mission 3. The ranks of the game are Private, Corporal, Sergeant, Staff Sergeant, Sergeant First Class, Master Sergeant, Sergeant Major, Specialist 4, Specialist 6, Warrant Officer, Chief Warrant Officer, Captain Major, Colonel, Brigadier General, and the General. The higher the trooper's rank, the better the gravestone he receives on Boot Hill. Right, there we go. 80 home, 0 away. Sounds like a really bad game of one-sided football, doesn't it? So anyway, we should have 56 recruits remaining. Okay, we'll do one more. Mission 5. Those vicious Vikings, the Valley of Ice, with 3 soldiers must kill all enemy and destroy enemy buildings. And this also is the first level to feature bazookas, but at the moment of time we haven't got any. But the bazooka people are very accurate, they can shoot at a distance and they can shoot very fast. And they're probably the biggest killer, that and getting hit by a roof. So many times in the past been killed by a falling roof. Now, if the building has still got the door on when it explodes, it can still technically be in use. Only when the door is out of action and enemies are not coming out of that door, then the building's out of the equation. But I believe at the moment of time, RJ is a Master Sergeant, Stu is a Specialist 4, and Jops, I think, is a Specialist 6. And I've lost 1 so far. But now we have the bazookas. I'm not going to use them on the building, I'm going to use them on the bazooka people. It's actually possible to throw the grenade over trees or throw them over additional buildings, but trees and snowmen can also be thrown into the air. Right, drop Stu and RJ needs some shelter. Also, it's actually possible to blow up 2 buildings with 1 grenade. It's a question of where does the debris go? It can go absolutely anywhere. So we've got 4 bazookas and 14 grenades. I'm going to try and just keep moving, keep shooting. Right, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to risk it for my own biscuits. Someone's in pain over there. He's dying. So use the left mouse button to move your troops, and you use the right mouse button to shoot. Yes, so many lives have been lost over the years. Maybe I did struggle with this. But 72 level is going to take some serious doing. I would like to do it one day. It's a long game. It's a good game as well. More than footage, that is cannon fodder.
Number 1.
And there we go. It was inevitable it's going to be in there somewhere. It's a question of where it's going to feature. But here we go. At number 1 with 24 votes, Lemmings. Okay, so the game is Lemmings, a 1901 puzzle strategy video game developed by DMA Design and published by Synopsis for the Amiga. It was later ported to numerous other platforms. The game is programmed by Russell Kay, Mike Daly and David Jones. It was inspired by simple animation that Daly created which experimented with deluxe paint. And for this video, it features number 1 with a grand total of 24 votes. It's an absolute classic. I have finished this one, did the 4-part long play. It was always going to feature. It was a question of where it was going to feature on the list. But this, of course, is the simplest one in the game. This is the first level of fun, which is, of course, just dig. And you only have 1 skill, the digging skill. Use digging skill, don't run out of time, and eventually what you need to move on. You need a 10, you need 100%, superb, every day on that level, can you do it again? Okay, let's go, it says. Why not? Level 24, Combined Wire Lemon Sum, which features 30 lemons in total, 66% needed, in 5 minutes, release rate of 99. And whatever the release rate is at the start of the level, it will not go any lower than that point. We are going to separate 2 from the pack, they've got a little work to do. Going to assign a climbing skill, that and make him an athlete by giving an umbrella, and also assign a building skill. And each building skill has a limited number of 12 building bricks in a backpack. The lemmings can't fall large distances. In later games, they extend the fall, but this one, they should be okay with an umbrella. And once you have an umbrella or a climbing skill, they have that for the remainder of the level. And by the time the pack arrives on the scene, they should be going homeward bound. The gist of the game is to guide a group of anthropomorphized lemmings through a number of obstacles to a designated exit. In any given level, the players must save a certain number of percentage of lemmings in order to advance. To this end, the player must decide how to assign a limited quantities of 8 different skills to individual lemmings, allowing them to alter the landscape and or their own behaviour so that the entire group can reach the exit safely. Just like that. There we go. 66% needed, 100% rescued. There's your level code. Okay, next install, why not? Level 52, Turn Around Young Lemming. This one has 100 lemmings, 90% needed in 5 minutes. Technically, you can lose 10 on this one, but no, we're going to lose 2. We haven't got any blocking skills, let's turn around by using the bombing skill. Now, lemmings do have quite a extreme step, but they're able to step up there, that's fine, they're going home. Lemmings was one of the best received in the games of the early 1990s. It was the 2nd highest rated game in the history of Amstrad Action, and was considered the 8th greatest game of all time by Next Generation in 1996. Lemmings was also one of the most widely ported video games, and is estimated to have sold around 20 million copies between its various ports. The popularity of the game also led to the creation of several other Lemmings video games, remakes and spin-offs, and also inspired other similar games. And this one, Amiga got 1991. We played it to absolute death, we really did. We didn't finish it back in the day, but I have finished it now. That's a load of more lemmings. 4 minutes remain, another one done. 90% needed, 98% rescued. Okay, open the doors and off we go. This one is the Crossroads, which features 100 lemmings. 100% is needed with 99% release rate and also 1 single minute. We can't afford to lose any on this one, but they're giving us 10 bombing skills, which of course, we won't be using those. We won't be using those at all. But also, using the bashing skill, we don't want to be creating big drops. We've got bash away for this spider's web. Fantastic, look at that. Lemmings is divided into a number of levels, grouped into 4 different categories. Each level begins with 1 or more trapdoors opening from above, leading a steady line of lemmings who all follow each other. Levels include a variety of obstacles that prevent lemmings from reaching the exit, such as large drops, booby traps, and pools of lava. Very loud on my headphones. I quite like the fast-paced ones, I like those. 100% needed, 100% rescued. Okay, we do one more. Level 81, Feel the Heat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, it's all about building to the right point. On this one, we've got 20 lemmings in total, 100% needed in 2 minutes. And me being me, trying to save some time by having 2 lemmings do 2 different tasks at the same time. Dig through the floor, build, turn around, and mine down to the bottom. These arrow keys make it so much easier. But yeah, back in the day when we both played this game, and we played it a lot, we never ever used the arrow keys to assign the skills. Now, it's 9 out of 10, that's what I do. It makes it so much easier. Right, build. Also got to try and end this early. Don't look towards the deaths. But yes, they can die in many ways. Falling from a height, falling into a pit or trap, falling off the screen, falling into a fire or water, or being assigned a bombing skill. Yes, running out of time isn't technically a kill for them, but depending on how many you've rescued that time, you could win if you run out of time. If you haven't, you restart. There you go, 100% needed, 100% rescued. There we go, I think that's more than enough footage. And thank you once again to all those that have voted. I've really enjoyed doing this video because it has been quite difficult, and yes, a lot of work's gone into it, a lot of days, but it was something I wanted to do. And hopefully in the future, if this one does well, we'll do some different subject, different systems. But it's Jamie Waters Games. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you get the next one. Next time, easy. Ciao, bye. See ya.